Hey guys, what is up? This is Todd, and today I'm bringing you the second episode of my Road to a Sandwich Maker series for you guys on AGNLive. So I hope you guys did enjoy the last one, and as I did promise, the series does get better as this series progresses. So anyway guys, I'm bringing you the story of my second girlfriend throughout the high school life. This girl's name was Tessa. She only came a couple of weeks after Lucy did, and there really wasn't a big gap at all. She was one of my friend's ex-girlfriends. He went to primary school with her, and I'm pretty sure that's how I met her. I did go to this disco, and back in the day, back in the 14-year-old days, here and where I live, it used to be like the biggest trend to go to these high school disco things. As queer as they sound, they weren't cool at all. They were actually really queer. And we just went to those things. I think they happened once every month or two. And they were kind of fun. It was like the 14-year-old version of a rave. And the drunkest you would get is if you had a couple of sips of your parents' alcohol before you came there, and if they smelled alcohol on you anyway, they would just kick you out immediately. So anyway, past that, I went to the disco with my friends, and it was really the place where we all went to hook up. Oh my god, everyone went to pick up at the discos, 14-year-olds picking up and shit. We went to these discos pretty much just to meet girls, and since I had not been with Lucy, I was out on the prowl for a new girlfriend because, like I said to you guys, I really didn't leave that much space in between girlfriends. I didn't really like not having a girlfriend, so once I lost one, I made it like my new mission to get another. So I pretty much went out on the prowl and went to this disco. I probably wasn't doing the best of jobs. I was sort of just being antisocial. Pretty sure I wasn't in the best of moods, so I probably wasn't really getting anywhere. And my mate was dancing with some chick, and she was foul looking at that. But her friend wasn't too bad looking, and that friend was actually this Tessa girl. Now, she was one of those girls who's not really in touch with her feelings. She doesn't really have like an affectionate side or emotional side. She's a little bit more harsh, you could say, and she really just liked to think of things like, she's really brutal. Probably the best way to put it. But anyway, I ended up dancing with this chick, and the stupid thing was about these raves or disco things that we went to is you'd go there to listen to like party music of that day, and you pretty much slow dance with girls. It was really contradictory, the whole idea of this, going to like one of these discos to, I know, be hypo, burn your energy dancing to some really gammon G-rated disco music, but you would end up slow dancing with a girl and pretty much just eating face the entire time. And that's pretty much what did happen to me. This girl actually also ended up being like my first proper like makeout, as you would say. When I went to my primary school, girls weren't really big on intimacy, so many people got into this stuff late, and going into high school, hearing about everyone else's primary school life, it made me sound like a nun. So I pretty much went to this disco to pretty much make sure that my first kiss sort of happened, just because it was sort of embarrassing being like one of the only people at my school, because nobody at my primary school followed with me to my high school, so I was feeling kind of left out. I went down and did that, and I really wasn't expecting it. I wasn't prepared to actually kiss this girl. She was kind of intimidating. She was taller than I was. She wasn't by any means fat. She was just like sort of just scary. She was good looking, don't get me wrong, but she was just scary at the same time. And all I can remember is just my friends being like, "Oh yeah, you should dance together." And I'm sure that she got the idea in her head that that meant like I was keen to hook up with her as well. And I turned around and talked to my mate. I turned back, and all I saw was this gaping hole coming at me with her tongue out and everything. And pretty much she engulfed somewhat of my nose and like half of my chin. At the same time, I'm really surprised that one person could like devour all that at the same time. But after I sort of strengthened my way back onto her face, it pretty much went from there. And that's all we did for the next like 3 hours, was just make out. And I was really like astonished at this. I was like, well, there we go, it's happened now, so might as well just get a bit of practice in. And I don't know, I don't understand my logic. I was 14, but I pretty much went from there. And the rest of the disco, it was just the same old shit, dancing and making out, and that's all anybody did. You could walk 5 meters and there'd be another couple eating face. So there really wasn't that much to do. So after the disco, I realized that she actually went to school with me. We'd never actually spoken before, and one of my mates suggested that we should like try and like test out dating, give the girlfriend boyfriend situation a go. And we sort of just talked it out, and I ended up just asking her to be my girlfriend. She said yes. And the next 3 weeks, it didn't really last long, just like the last girlfriend didn't. The next 3 weeks was just a lot of awkwardness. We really had no common ground, which is a really silly thing to do, is get with somebody or be with somebody that you just don't talk about anything to. You've got nothing in common. You don't find anything interesting about each other. It was just a whole lot of awkward and just a lot of awkward silences between each other. But nonetheless, we stayed together. And the reason we broke up was sort of silly too. Is I went over some like girl's house. She was one of those girls, the flirty natured girls who have really no respect for anyone else's like girlfriends or relationships. And she sort of just tried moving in on me. It's always been like her agenda to try and get my dick in her mouth, and it still is today. She actually stole one of my things and said she wouldn't give me it back unless I gave her exactly that. I still haven't to this day, by the way. But I went over this chick's house, and pretty much we just got real close, and I just felt real bad that I had a girlfriend and that I did that. Like, I just got real close with somebody else. So I broke it off with her, and that was the end of that relationship. She actually took it really well. She didn't really care, to be honest. I don't think either of us really cared that much, just because, like I said, we had no common ground. We had nothing really interesting that we found in each other. But after that, we pretty much just went our separate ways. We did talk every now and then. She ended up being like one of my closer friends, just because I ended up dating one of her friends again, and we sort of hung out through mutual friends. So she wasn't too bad. Like, she was a pretty cool chick. She was probably one of the coolest chicks I've ever met. But she's kind of fat and slutty now, so that's kind of embarrassing. But anyway, guys, that's the second episode. I'll bring you guys the next episode soon. Hopefully this is getting interesting to you guys. It's really funny, reliving all this sort of stuff. I'm kind of embarrassed by this one because she turned out to be a giant slut and then got fat. So, yeah, it doesn't reflect on me well, especially when people see it these days. So, anyway, guys, that's it from me. I'll see you next time. Hope you did enjoy. Be sure to leave a rating. Just to support the channel. We got to support AGNLive, guys. And anyway, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out. Bye.
Like, I didn't get my flag on.